So I was born in California, and I grew up part of my childhood in Michigan. So obviously I speak the American variant of English. My family is Israeli, and I spent most of my life in Israel. And I also speak Hebrew. I'm going to say a sentence in Hebrew now. המשפט הזה, אני מדבר אותו בעברית. אני ישראלי, אני גר בישראל, מדבר עברית. After my army service, I went traveling in South America, and that was really when my romance with languages started. And I studied Spanish when I was there, a little bit before I went traveling, and while I was there. Today I can speak some basic conversational Spanish. Puedo hablar en español, y cuando he estado en Sudamérica aprendí allá a hablar español, y eso me ayudó muchísimo hablar con la gente allá. After traveling for enough months in South America, my Spanish reached a point where it wasn't perfect, but it was good enough to get by and good enough to really feel like I was just comfortable talking it. And I decided I wanted to learn something else. I had met a lot of German-speaking people from Germany and from Denmark and from Holland and from Sweden and from Austria and from Switzerland, and they all spoke German. And I was like, okay, I'd like to study some German. So I started learning German then, and people would always ask me, why am I studying German? And I would always say, oh, it's been a while. So, ich habe getroffen viele Leute aus Deutschland und ich will sprechen mit ihnen in deiner Sprache. And so I was studying German up until the time where I came back to Israel. When I came back to Israel, there was really no point in I tried to keep up my German studies, but there's just nobody to speak German to here unless you really go out of your way to find German-speaking people. I majored in Arabic, which is in high school. Back in high school, I majored in Arabic, which is the most. I mean, you'd think it would be the most reasonable language to study in Israel because a lot of Arabs. But the cultural separation within Israel meant that in my day-to-day life, I really don't meet any Arabic speakers, any Arab people. Nobody that really speaks Arabic. So today I can read Arabic. I can pick up, subtitles or street signs or newspapers. I can say stuff like "Data sabah kumtu min firashi wa dakhaltu al-hammam." This is high school stuff. But I decided I really want to learn Russian. It's because if there's one language you do hear, one foreign language that you do hear all the time in Israel, it's Russian. I tried learning Russian for a few years. I can speak some conversational Russian. What can I say in Russian? This is confusing. Я хочу говорить по-русски, потому что я знаю много людей здесь, которые говорят по-русски. У меня всегда есть много... У меня друзья в университете, в школе, в армии, которые говорят по-русски. Sadly, они не... They don't want to speak Russian to me, is what I was aiming for. When I was in India, I went to India after university. This was a few years ago, and I tried learning Hindi when I was in India. Hindi is very hard to read and write, but it's not very hard to learn other than that. It is European. It's from the Indo-European family of languages, so pronunciation is not similar to Arabic. It's similar to European languages. So saying stuff like, oh man, I don't remember any Hindi, but it's not guttural anyway. It's an easy language to pronounce if you speak a Latin language. Esmiman, no, I think that's Persian, isn't it, right? Esmiman Sirais, that's Persian. So Hindi is very similar to Persian, unsurprisingly. And even like that, that construction where you say, my name Sela is, Esmiman Sirais. I don't remember how to say it in Hindi, but it's very similar. And I only dabbled slightly in ASL, in sign language, which is by far the most awesome language, because it is very expressive. So for example, the word for beer would be, you take the sign for B, and then you sort of point out the beer is drizzling down your mouth. And the sign for wine is you take a W sign, and the wine is drizzling down your mouth. Or a sign for pizza, which is by far my favorite sign, is like this, you're eating a pizza. Or the sign for coffee, so you're grinding coffee. So ASL is a lot of fun. The languages are fun in general. I mean, it's just awesome to talk to people in their own language. You can feel them be more comfortable. You feel them express who they really are. The same way you're more comfortable expressing yourself in your own native tongue than you are even in a language that you speak quite well.